Hello, everyone, and welcome to the JLR Podcast Network. It is time for another episode of What's This? Today we have a new member. I'm joined, my friend. Well, I have many friends. No, this time around, it's a new friend who's joining this show. Joe, or Yo as we call him. Say hello to everyone, Joe.
Yeah, right here.
Right there. Nice. Finally, we have another new member. So this is a movie show where we introduce films to each other that we haven't seen yet before, and then we discuss about the film, we watch it, or watch it for the first time, depending who it is, and then talk about it again with spoilers and everything. Okay, I'm all over the place, but hey, what the F. Joe!
Yes.
So, this is your first episode, and this is also be the first time for you to introduce a film to me. So, what is the film that you want me to see?
It's called Tales from the Darkside. I just watched it recently. I wanted to watch some horror film like from the 80s or 90s or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed the Nostalgia Critic talked about this one.
Ah, I see. Yes.
And I was like, oh, okay, I want to check that out. And I just, went ahead and watched it. And it's really good. At least to me, I have weird standards.
So you just saw this film recently?
Yes.
Okay, so you never saw this film when you were younger. So this is a recent film for you.
Yes.
I see. That's interesting. So when I was Googling the name, both the film and a TV series popped up. So did you watch those TV shows as well, or?
No, I just saw the movie.
Okay.
This movie really reminds me of, Tales from a Crypt and stuff like that.
That is very interesting, yeah, because obviously Tales from the Crypt, it used to be TV shows and also movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that one film where the vampires were using sunblock. Do you remember that?
No.
That was one of the Tales from the Crypt film.
You remember Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I remember. Yeah, I think. Wait, it's not. I don't want to mix this up, but there's also an episode that was called Goosebumps, right?
Yeah. Don't watch
but it's not the same, right?
I watched the new movie and I've never been so bored in my life.
I see. So that movie was awful, but you would say yeah.
I wanted to watch lots of horror films that might be kid related. You would show to your kids.
Mm-hmm.
And this one popped up there, but I probably would not show this film to my kid. Tales from the Darkside.
I see. So you would not recommend it for a child.
It depends on the child.
Okay.
Yeah, if you think it's ready for it, then you'll show it to it.
Oh, I see. But it might be a little bit too scary, I suppose.
It depends on the age and the child.
Okay. But so this is not one story. These are several stories in one film.
Yeah, it's I think it's like 4 stories.
4 stories. Okay. And but is it? I mean, how long is like one story? Do you think?
Probably around 20 minutes or something.
Okay, so it's not that. So the movie is rather short.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, interesting.
It's not a long film.
Okay, so it's kind of like watching 4 episodes then, or something.
Yeah.
All right, that's pretty
I
cool.
really enjoyed this film.
Yeah, at first glance, it's funny. I've never heard about this film nor those TV shows before, but at the first glance, the first actor that pops up, Steve Buscemi. He's actually one of my favorite actors. So
Yeah. Did you see a film called Monster House?
no, I have not seen that film yet.
Yeah, that's a Halloween film you would show your kids.
Oh, okay, but
But
okay,
the
but
funny,
yes.
the funny thing about it, Steve Buscemi is in it too.
So yeah, he's been in a lot of films and long career, we could say so. I mean,
Yeah.
this is 1990,
Yeah.
so that's very early in his career. He started out as a
Yeah.
stand-up comedian, but he wasn't really well. I supposedly he wasn't that great at that, but then he became a much more successful actor, and
Yeah.
there have been quite a lot of good films that I've seen him in. I mean, my favorite is always going to be The Big Lebowski, but yeah, I mean Fargo and all these other. I still haven't seen the film The Death of Stalin, where he plays.
My favorite Steve Buscemi film is Con Air.
He was so creepy in that
funny.
film. That scene with the child, he's like holding the doll, and you're just thinking this is gonna end horribly, but then thank God the like afterwards you saw that it was the kid was okay. Is there any other? I saw his name first. Is there any other famous actors in this film?
You remember the old guy from Christmas Vacation?
The old guy from Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, with a cigar.
Wait, why am I not remembering who it is?
He talked for the old guy in Nightmare Before Christmas too.
If I would see his face, I should know it. Damn it! Who could it? You don't remember the name, or?
No, sorry, it just fell out of my head.
You know what happens to me all the time during this episode. So, but it's an reckon. Wait. Christian Slater?
Yes,
is he in the film?
He's also in it.
Yeah. He was obviously. I remember him in. I mean, I've seen him in many films, but he was obviously in a famous horror film called Interview with the Vampire. It's the interviewer.
Yeah.
I remember that one. But other than that, I don't recognize. I see his face and Steve Buscemi. There's no other race so far. But maybe if I hear their voices, I might recognize some of the other actors.
There's one actor. You remember Ace Ventura?
Of course.
Yeah, the guy who was his landlord.
Yeah, I've seen him in a couple of TV shows as well. He was he was in that prison drama. What was it called? Oz. Remember that? There was like a TV show about guys in prison. I think it was Oz or something like that.
I was laughing because all these old guys in films that I've been seeing recently.
Yeah.
They're mostly all alive today.
They're still like that guy.
Yeah, like that guy and Mel Brooks and everything.
Well, Mel Brooks, yeah, he's been, he's pretty old now. He's pretty up there. Yeah. But it's funny, yeah, a lot of them are still hanging around while others have gone too soon.
Yeah, real soon.
Real too soon.
The movie Silence of the Hams.
Ah, yes. That was a parody, obviously. Yeah. Pretty good one, though.
Yeah, all the young guys in that movie are dead. And I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, it's kind of that. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Some of the actors that have passed away. What's the name of the guy who was in Titanic? What was his name again? He was one of the lead actors in Silence of the Hams, wasn't he? He was the mean boyfriend in Titanic.
Yeah. Right. I think he's still alive. Yeah.
He's. I think that actor is still. I would have known him. I think I would have known if he would have passed away. But I do remember. Yeah, there are a lot of actors in that
He's
film.
right.
Yeah. What's the name of the fat guy who was always in Mel Brooks films as too? Tom Louisa or something.
Yeah, Louise.
Yes. He was
Dom
yeah.
Louise.
Dom DeLuise. That's the one. Yeah. He's been in many comedies and many Mel Brooks films. It was pretty funny. He was playing in Men in Tights. He was basically playing the Godfather. He's the Godfather character in Men in Tights for some reason. That was a weird one. But is this film Tales from the Dark Side? Is it more horror than humor? Like it's meant to scare you. You're not gonna laugh too much, or what do you think?
I would say both.
Okay.
You can laugh at some. At least it's scary stories. It's not hilariously bad, but there's like one story there. I was laughing at my ass off.
Okay.
It was You have to see it. I don't want to spoil anything.
Okay. Obviously, yeah. But you're saying I can laugh.
Yeah.
All right, that's good to know. I mean, Tales from the Crypt were pretty funny, as well as being scary, I suppose. So if it's similar to Tales of the Crypt, then I guess I'm prepared to laugh, I suppose. If well, would you say some of the scenes are more silly than scary, or is it a good mix?
It's a good mix. I can say
right.
that. It's like, they're not using 3D effects and everything. Though it's all practical, I think.
Yeah. That's at the beginning of the 90s, where you still have leftovers of actually making masks and horrible brides or whatever. Like in the film The Thing, I always remember that scene with the walking head. Just thought it was great that they actually made it. It makes it more scary for the actors to actually see that head crawling around. So, I hope this film might have some similar cool effects like that. But is there anything I should prepare myself for, or is there anything I should focus on before I watch the film?
No, not really. Just empty your head and watch some horror.
Yeah. Would you say it's okay, because it's 4 different stories, is it okay to stop the movie a little bit between stories, or should I just continue watching through each episode, through each story?
I would say it's entirely up to you. Basically, if you have something big to say about the first part or second part or something, then you can take a pause.
What did the nostalgia critic say about the film? Did he like it, or was he criticizing it? Or
he was not criticizing it. He just mentioned it in his list of Halloween films that he would like to watch during Halloween.
I see.
I just saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'm just wondering. I never knew about this film, and neither did I. I'm wondering, is it because it's so similar to Tales of the Crypt that people just ignored it and thought it was just the Tales of the Crypt or something, or did he say something about why it's not that popular, or?
I'm not sure. I think it's popular. I'm not 100% on it, but he pointed it out as one of his films that he liked to watch during Halloween. And I was like, maybe I should check it out.
Were you watching a lot of horror films during this Halloween?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
I went through Coraline, Monster House, Goosebumps.
And you said you almost slept.
It was so empty, this film. It was like watching Michael Bay.
Not a good compliment there.
Yeah, it was just. It was basically explosion all the way through.
I see.
There was nothing really, Look, there's a mummy. Yay. Okay, bye, mummy.
It's not like the beginning of what's the name of the film where they two explorers, they find the Dracula who's just ridiculous. What's the name? What's the name of the film? Hysterical, right? That first scene with the Dracula, it's just ridiculous.
Yes.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, like telegram.
I need to see that. I need to see that film again, I think.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna watch parodies of horror films, what was the film that? What would you say is the scariest film you've seen so far?
I'm not really sure. Today I'm really, desensitized to those films. I felt I got nightmares of that film with the kids who were attacking people or something. I don't know.
Children of the Corn, or
no,
not that one.
It's some kind of video they watch in their house, and then they move, and then the kids kill them or something.
Wait, is that Sinister?
Yeah,
I saw that recently, Sinister, where they watch the video, and then he found videos of the families getting killed by one of the kids. Yeah, that was pretty gruesome.
I think it's that most recent film I got a little bit, got nightmares of.
Yeah, with it's there's like this Marilyn Manson character in the end. It's kind of weird.
Did you watch the recent The It movie?
I still haven't seen any of those films. If you would like to introduce one of them one day, we could make an episode about that. If it's worth it. I have to see it?
Yeah, it's the second part is just my favorite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's basically I cannot say I was really scared of it, but it's just epic.
Oh, okay. All right.
Like what? Yeah. I really don't want to spoil it any more than that. But basically.
Okay. I mean, like it could be a future episode, I suppose. But this film, Tales of from the Darkside, you wouldn't say it's not as scary as those films.
As Sinister.
Yeah.
No, not really.
Not really. It's more entertaining horror, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right. Well, without further ado, then, this is the part where we pause the podcast, and I'll go watch the film, and then when we're back, we will talk about it with spoilers and everything. All right? Ready to hit this on pause? We have to say it with me together. Pause like this, and then we fade out. Okay, ready? Pause.
I want you to make a hit. That is what you do, I understand.
How did you get my name?
Mr. Saul Loger told me that You know him.
Who do you want to hit?
Your victim is right behind you.
I ought to kill you for that. I don't like jokes.
I don't make jokes. Sit down. Here. Sit down, Mr. Halston, and look in that envelope. $50,000. There'll be another 50,000 when you bring me proof that the cat has ended its time on Earth.
I don't believe this. You're hiring me to kill a cat?
That cat has killed 3 people in this household. That leaves me.
All right, we are back. I've just finished watching the film, and it is that time. We're going to talk about it, but before we do that, same as usual, spoiler alert. If you do not want us to spoil this film for you, if you intend to see it without knowing the spoilers, then I suggest you stop this podcast episode, go watch the film, and then come back and listen to this podcast. If you don't care, well, then you just don't care and you can just listen. All right, Joe, I just finished watching the film.
Yeah, what did you think about it?
So it was not really scary. It was a bit silly, but I actually find myself liking it a lot because it actually did surprise me. Because like I said, I thought it was silly, but then how it was surprising how horrifying the film actually ended up being in some scenes. So yeah. Silly, a little bit okay, kind of weird, but then oh wow, horrifying at times. But maybe not really scaring, but more like ugh. Watching it was, some of the scenes were pretty gruesome. But I don't know. I found myself liking the film in the end. It was funny, quick 3 stories with like this one main story in the background. So yeah. Once again, I've been introduced to a film that I like. It's just a perfect podcast for it.
Yeah. What was your favorite story of them?
Okay, so maybe we should break down each story before I decide who is the favorite one. So when you said 4 stories, I thought maybe we were talking about like 4 separate stories, but it's actually there's this one main story about a kid who has a book that is named Tales from the Darkside. Now you haven't seen any, you said you haven't seen the TV show yet.
No,
right?
I haven't checked it out yet.
Yeah.
No.
I wonder if that's something to do with that book, like in the TV show. Do they read from the book or something? Because it seemed kind of significant. Like it seemed like it meant something to the audience. But yeah. So this kid, it's the basic Hans and Gretel story, right? He's been locked up by a crazy old. Well, she was not that old, but a crazy lady that's gonna eat him. The thing is, I thought first maybe he might be a monster because when he was like twisting the doorknob.
I was like, what? What was that?
Yeah, I thought maybe, there's a monster in there and she doesn't know. But then like she opened and seems like there was like a dungeon and she knew all about it and it was like, oh, okay, so it's the other way around. She's crazy. Not the But yeah, I wonder if that. I'm wondering like if that kid has been in the TV show before or something. But I have no idea. Like I said, haven't seen those TV shows. But so basically, he's trying to stall her, trying to save his life by reading stories from that book. And he's reading 3 stories to her, and we see them. And then obviously between stories, we go back to the situation where he's trying to stall her and avoiding getting cooked.
Yeah.
But so yeah, the first story, what was it? Lot 207. What was it?
Yeah,
Something like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where the main actor is Steve Buscemi.
Well, Steve Buscemi and Christian Slater. I was surprised. It was like when I saw the credit list before we watched the film, I thought, oh, Steve Buscemi and Christian, those are the 2 most famous actors in that film, and they're both in the same story.
Yeah.
So I was kind of surprised. Oh, the most famous actors in this film, they're both now in the first story. So, but I thought it was funny how there's something about Steve Buscemi. He can play himself kind of not too creepy, but not normal. It's something wrong, but you're not quite sure.
You don't catch on to it. It's basically he acted normally through most of it.
Yeah. And then obviously, it was pretty obvious when the sarcophagus came up, was in his room. I was like, oh, okay, this is gonna be a mummy story, but what kind of a mummy story? I wasn't sure. But I thought it was so weird. Like, he wanted revenge against his roommate's friend and sister. Yeah, for setting him up. Well, she tried to set him up with having stolen something, but what was the other guy? Like, she cheated. Like, what was it cheating on a test or something?
Yeah, they basically were cheating.
Yeah,
they were trying to get. I think they were trying to get good points by catching a thief.
Yeah, he can't, like, he lost to the other guy some position, and it was because his girlfriend helped him out, cheated with it for him. Yeah, but yeah, it was kind of funny though, that scene where they're trying to dissect the body, and they were going through, like, first he was like pulling out vegetables or something.
Yeah.
It didn't make much sense, but then there was a scroll, and then I was thinking, oh yeah, definitely. Like, the stories, I kind of saw them coming. I kind of knew what was gonna happen most of the time. So, and in this story, I kind of knew, like, oh yeah, he's gonna raise him up, with that scroll. He's gonna read from the scroll. The way he looked at the scroll, it was like, oh. And then Christian Slater, what does it say? I can't read it. So he obviously, you knew he was plotting something then.
I was laughing at one point because basically he's reading in English.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's supposed to be ancient language, but he's able to read it and read it up in English, and the mummy understands English. It doesn't seem to matter. So, and I'm wondering, like, was he supposed to? Did he also steal that, and no one cared? And that's the funny thing. It was like nobody cared. He had that in there. Not even the people from the university. They were like, "What the hell?" No. Instead, he said, "Oh, it's too bad there's no mummy inside."
Yeah, it basically was like that. I think it's happened during the time where there were exactly, buying mummies from Egypt.
Yeah.
During that time, the Tutankhamun or something, the most famous mummy that was found.
Yeah.
It was nothing special. It was just the first mummy they found that wasn't broken into.
I see. But before that, they had already, like,
Yeah, they
from
were
that movie.
smoking mummies and stuff during those times.
Oh, so
Yeah, they were holding parties like, hey, I bought a mummy. You want to smoke it?
But did you see the credit list before the movie started? I completely forgot to mention this. The in the beginning, you see there are different directors for each episode,
Yeah.
and it's based on different stories. For example, that one with the mummy, I
Yeah.
think it was built. I think that was well, the main director is John Harrison, but writing credits you have, what was it? Oh yeah, Stephen King. Stephen King and George A. Romero for The Cat from Hell, which is the second story.
Oh,
I mean, these
was it
are
Stephen King?
yeah. I mean, so Stephen
I
King's
didn't know.
story, and then the screenplay is the famous zombie maker George A. Romero, who made Land of the Dead and Diary of the Dead.
Ah,
He's the writer for all that. So I was like, whoa, that's actually really famous names. And then Michael McDowell, I mean, he's a writer for Beetlejuice.
no.
And so he wrote the screenplay for the lot 249, the first one.
Yeah.
And actually also the Lover's Vow, the third one. So I mean, definitely famous and well-known writers, I would think,
Yeah.
for each
I
story.
didn't know about the writers. I didn't
Yeah.
read so much into that.
No,
into
it was
it.
just at the beginning, like the credits were rolling, and then it was like, Stephen King based on the story, like, and what the hell, Stephen King? So definitely, it's funny. It's famous people that were writing the screenplay for this film, and then you have famous people actually in the film, and then it's so funny. I didn't recognize the names, but then when I started seeing these actors, I was like, oh, I know that guy. I know that guy. It was like,
Yeah.
for example, I mean, for example, the woman, that's Julianne Moore. She's a pretty famous actress. She's been like in, well, I mean, I remember in Magnolia, but she's been in many famous films. I think she's an Oscar winner.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, she was pretty young. They're all young in that film. I mean,
Yeah.
Steve Buscemi is pretty young, and obviously, yeah, Christian Slater is young, but young and up and coming actors, but in a pretty weird film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of like that first story, even though it was kind of silly and crazy. And
Yeah.
and the thing about that story, I kind of did you see? Did you think they would turn into mummies in the end?
No, that it was sort of a surprise to me. Basically,
Okay, so that's
I thought he had burnt. I thought he had burnt the scroll.
okay, and then he had the other scroll. Well, I didn't know. I didn't see it coming that he would have a different scroll burned up.
Yeah.
But there was something about when he was stuffing the. He was like stuffing his sister with whatever that was. There was some vegetables or whatever. I thought, wait a second, is he kind of? It looks like he's making his own mummy. So I thought, okay, maybe she will come back as a mummy or something. There will be a twist. And then in the end, obviously it happened. Both of them came back
Yeah.
with the message from Steve's character, Bellingham. So that was kind of a twisted end. Obviously, not many good endings in this film. Only the last ending of the last of the last story. But
Yeah.
but the one that really surprised me was the second one,
Yeah.
the Black Cat one.
It was. I was laughing my ass off.
I can only imagine. It's really weird and kind of silly, and then it's like, okay, what's going on? But that ending of the story is like, oh my god, that was really horrifying. And it's good.
I was laughing. It was like, what? Why? Oh.
I mean, it was pretty. Yeah, it was pretty silly and funny, but still pretty god. He killed him how? He just
Yeah.
basically crawled into the guy's mouth. It's like, what the
Yeah.
hell? It's
And
a
the
good.
clock broke.
It's a good thing you told me it's not good for children, because I was starting to watch the film and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be watching it with my daughter around me. And then I thought, oh yeah, definitely send her off to her own own room to watch something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be good. That was pretty. I mean, because I thought it was before, like in the Mummy story. I didn't really think maybe it's not gonna be that terrible, but then the first murder in the Mummy story happened when he pulled the guy's brains out. I was like, okay, this is gonna be really gruesome. But yeah, that cat story, that ending really shook me. And I noticed that the actors there, some of them were pretty familiar faces, especially the what was he, a butler? The guy
Yeah,
from
the butler,
the guy from Ace.
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, and he's been in many other TV shows and films. But yeah, it was recognizable, his face. It was funny how this cat supposedly killed everyone except the old guy
Yeah.
at the house, and he said, like, he was describing the murders. The first one, when is the cat tripping the old lady and she fell down the stairs, and I thought, oh, okay, that's kind of clever. Like, it doesn't seem like the cat was really mean then. It just, well, like, maybe it could have been an accident or something. But then the second murder, like, like, he was like a face hugger in the Alien films.
Yeah.
Just and suffocated the old lady. Yeah, then I thought, oh, okay, this is gonna be pretty silly. And then
And it was really funny when the old guy was like explaining to the hitman that the cat is trying to kill me. You have to kill it.
yeah.
And explain those stories and like, okay,
Yeah.
he killed her by tripping her and stepped on the face of the other. You're insane.
Yeah, and then was like, did you see this happen? Like, couldn't believe it. It was because obviously at the first, when you looked behind him and saw the cat seemed so cute, like, meow, didn't really seem a danger. But then, when he held the cat and said, I could break his neck now, and then all of a sudden the cat became angry. It became a menace. Yeah. But yeah, the way he died was brutal.
Yeah, I was just laughing my ass off. It's just what? Oh.
Yeah, jumped. Yeah, the first. Yeah, he kept hurting the guy pretty badly, and then, well, there was that scene. Did you hold your balls when the cat started scratching the guy's balls?
No, I'm pretty desensitized to that.
Yeah, well, I felt the need to grab. I was like, ugh. I can only imagine that's gonna hurt. But then the actual death, jumping into the guy's mouth and just like killing him from inside. Yeah, and then when he crawled back out, it's just like.
Yeah.
It's more like an alien film than a cat film.
Yeah.
That was kind of ridiculous, yeah.
I was just laughing at that moment. It's
Yeah,
like, what the fuck?
But again, like, think about it. It's based on a Stephen King story.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a short story. Yeah, Stephen King short story. So, but yeah, that was the one that surprised me. I should say it surprised me more than the first story.
Yeah.
Because then the third story, what was the
The
name?
artist.
With the artist. By the way, that guy, when that story when that started, I was just, it took me like, what, 5-10 seconds to look at him, and then I was like, oh yeah, I know that guy. That's the he was the dad, Dexter's dad in the TV show Dexter.
Ah,
Do you remember that? Not his? It was not. It was like his foster dad.
yeah, yeah. You mean Dexter, the serial killer?
Yeah. Not the cartoon. The
Yeah.
yeah, the serial killer where like his yeah, he was adopted by a police officer, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was that guy who was playing him. That was his.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
he played the
Was it that
dad,
guy?
he, and then obviously he was remembered Mortal Kombat 2,
Yeah,
where they changed Raiden. They got a
yeah,
new Raiden. That's that guy. He's Raiden in Mortal Kombat 2. He's in the one of the worst films ever.
yeah. Wow. Damn.
So, but I've seen him in many movie roles. So I was like, yeah, I know him definitely. And I even know that women. I've seen her before. The what was her name? Carola or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, James. I'm looking at here. James Remar. He played Preston. Yeah, like I said, he was in Dexter and Mortal Kombat 2, and even Robert Klein. I knew who he was. He's a famous comedian. He's a comedian who's been in many films. So I've seen
Yeah.
his face before. So definitely, it's funny. It's a lot of recognizable actors.
Yeah.
But yeah, that the third story was like I kind of knew all the time that
Yeah.
she
Me too.
was the gargoyle. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
don't you
It
find
was kind of obvious.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because, like, first of all, it doesn't make any sense. He kind of grabs her, holds her mouth, and remember what she said to the kids at the 10-year anniversary? Oh,
No.
she said, "Oh, today is the day 10 years from when I met your father. You mean that time you thought he was gonna rape you?" The kid just looked at her mom. Oh, that time when you thought he was gonna rape you? who, who talks like that? It's just what? I was a little bit, talk about
Yeah.
way before Me Too or anything, but
Yeah.
yeah, before you thought he was gonna rape you. Great, yeah. What a way to remember. But yeah, when she just started like hanging around at his place and they fell in love. I was like, wait, like there's something wrong about her. She's probably the gargoyle in disguise or something. And then when the guy from the bar, who was like the friend of the owner of the bar, showed up and started talking about the murder case, she kind of like tried to drag him away, stop talking about it. So it was like a hint, to who she might be and stuff. And then but he kept the secret away from what the gargoyle was, because the gargoyle said, I promise you, it'll spare your life if you never mention me, never describe me to anyone or something. And then he never did that. And then he fell in love with this woman.
Years.
Yeah. And then 10 years later, he wants to, what did he say? Let's go move to the countryside or something. And yeah. And she said, there's nothing you can give me that I don't already have. And then he said, yes, there's one thing. And then he showed her a secret. And then she snaps and becomes a gargoyle because he broke the promise. Lovers vow. 10 years later. Yeah, and that was kind of horrifying too when she transformed. That was pretty kind of brutal.
When they got the children too.
Yeah, the children become gargoyles too.
Yeah.
It's like even though their dad was human and the mom was the gargoyle, it's not like they could be like half gargoyle or something. Nope. They also become gargoyles. That was kind of
that might be Goliath.
Yeah.
Their son might be Goliath.
Might be the gargoyles from the TV animation. But yeah,
Jalapeno.
it was so obvious at the beginning when they had the gargoyle up from the building looking down. It was so obvious then. I was like, this is gonna be some gargoyle story or something. And yeah, so that was the most, maybe the third one was the most obvious one, and maybe not, probably the least, like not, I would not say that's the best one, maybe the worst one. Not bad, but just not as entertaining as the first two. Well, I mean, what do you think? What is your favorite story of them?
I would say the cat story because it was so absurd and funny.
I think I might agree with you. I like the first story because it's fun to see those actors, famous actors, young actors, but it was a little bit silly, and I kind of knew what was going to happen in the end, but I did not like that cat story. Took such a twist at the end. It was like, what? It was, yeah. I would definitely say that's the one that probably surprised me the most. Kind of had the most horrifying ending, and yeah, but was also kind of the funniest story of them all. Yeah. You told me you recently saw this film. When was it? Like just during
Halloween.
Yeah, this year Halloween. So it's just like you just saw it 2 months ago, right? Or like 1 month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see it by yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. You haven't shown this film to anyone else? Am I the first one you are introducing this film?
You're the second one that I tell you about this.
Oh, okay. I see. Who else did you talk to? About
No, I mean from me.
Okay. So okay.
You're the first one who I tell you.
I see. So that's kind of interesting. Now we have to get our other friends to watch this film. I mean, I would honestly, I think I would definitely recommend this film for like a horror movie night. I mean, not for kids. Kids cannot watch this film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think kids should be able to watch this, or?
It depends. I would say like adult protection. I mean, you would watch this with your child.
I mean, I think it's okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's something about like him pulling the brains out of the guy, and then the cat crawling into the guy's mouth. That can give young kids definitely some serious nightmares. So maybe, I don't know, maybe when you're a little bit older, but I can only imagine that this is much more horrifying than Tales from the Crypt, right? I don't remember Tales from the Crypt. I mean, this brutal.
Did you see the movies?
Yeah, like I said, I remember that vampire film. But like, I don't know. There's nothing that I remember that like shocked me or something. Or like, whoa, that was really, like, I'll definitely remember this film when the cat basically crawled into the guy's mouth. I will never forget that.
Did you see the other Tales from the Crypt movie, Demon Knight?
Man, no, I don't think Demon Knight. No.
It has the actor from The Mummy, the guy who played the Mummy.
Oh, okay. So the actual guy who was the Mummy is playing in that film as well, or?
Yeah, he's the demon.
Okay, so he plays.
He's having a ball.
Yeah,
he's having fun with his role.
I see. And that's Tales from the Crypt, right?
Yeah, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Knight.
Demon Knight. Sounds
like Knight without K.
Okay, so yeah, as in a Black Knight, Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I guess I have to check that one out for sure. But
that's a film I would not watch with my children.
Oh, you think it's worse than this film, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, there are really really cool effects that are like, whoa, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Sorry for
It's
cussing.
it's yeah, it's this is a film though. It's going to scare children more than adults. Like I said, I'm not really scared after watching this film. I'm not going to have bad dreams or anything like that. But, it's not like, that horrifying feeling you get when you're watching like, The Shining or Sinister or one of those films.
Yeah.
Yeah, cause like I said, because it was a bit too silly. You won't get too scared, but still, it's still a little bit horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with the black cat. That's the only thing that really surprised me, I suppose, about with it. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
then
I
the
mean,
ending.
yeah, I don't know. I find myself liking this film, and I remember loving those TV shows back in the day. The
Yeah.
ones that that actually had some pretty bad, scary stories, and remember so Goosebumps was on one channel, right? The
Yeah.
government channel, but then there was another.
Are you afraid of the dark?
It has to be that one, yeah. That was on the other channel, right? The
Yeah.
channel
That-
2, as we say.
That
Yeah.
was terrible, and I mean, horrible.
Yeah, I remember
those.
those. Those
Really scary.
what was the the D, like he was trying to summon a evil spirit or a demon, and you were supposed to use silver to yeah, you were supposed to use silver to get the demon away or get it, possess him away for you or something. But the kid was using a spoon. It was a steel, so it didn't work. Yeah. And then there was one episode where like a kid and his parents, or was it, no, it was a girl and her parents, they moved somewhere to live somewhere, and like their energy was being sucked, and to make the people that they were living with, the tenant, was to keep them young. Yeah, I think it was part of the same thing, and a werewolf story as well. I remember these occasional stories from that episode.
Might have been Goosebumps. I watched Are You Afraid of the Dark recently.
Okay.
And the funny thing about it, Gilbert Godfrey is in one of the episodes.
He's big into horror. He talks about horror films a lot on his podcast. This is one of my favorite podcasts, Gilbert Godfrey's Amazing Colossal Podcast. It's definitely worth a listen. But yeah, he's in one of the episodes.
And he speaks kind of normal in it.
Yeah, I mean, when he acts, he can actually be normal. It's so funny. He has that really weird voice, and then when he makes voice impressions, like when he'll sound like Jerry Seinfeld, it doesn't sound like Gilbert anymore. It sounds like Jerry Seinfeld. Why doesn't anyone want to? It's like he catches his voice pretty well.
Yeah. And there was some other guy in. The funny thing about it, Are You Afraid of the Dark? There's a reoccurring one character in the stories.
Yeah.
And it's really funny to see him all the time because he's in different stories with different actors, but he's playing the same guy.
Okay, so a reoccurring character within different stories.
Yeah. And,
okay.
And they don't relate to him, to each stories.
Yeah.
But he's always there. He's always playing some sleazy salesman that's selling cursed objects or something.
I see.
And he's always like, oh, you can buy that for $1. And then it actually was a magical item. Can I have that back?
So you never knew he sold a magical item without knowing it.
Yeah.
He's not like the guy in The Simpsons with the what was it? Frozen yogurt? Frogurt?
Yeah. Frogurt.
But the frozen yogurt is also cursed.
Yeah.
It's funny because when I download the film, there was also links to the TV shows. You said you still haven't watched them, but are you interested in watching them after seeing this film?
Yeah.
I think so. I kind of want to watch this TV shows just to see. I kind of want to compare them to like the other TV shows, like Tales from the Crypt and Goosebumps, and just or also the TV show you were talking about, Tales. What was it? Dark Knight? No.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Are You Afraid of the Night? Yeah. Are You Afraid of the Dark? Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of because it's so funny. Before you mentioned this film to me, I had no idea about this film nor these TV shows until I finally, watched the film and now Googled about it, and it's like, oh, okay, so this actually was kind of popular, but for some reason we had no idea about it back home in Iceland. So, and I don't know. Maybe it's just it wasn't distributed. It's old. It looks older than Tales from the Crypt. I don't know. It's like 80s. Is Tales from the Crypt that old as well, or?
Yeah, they had movies and shows and everything. I think I think I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger in one of the Tales from the Crypt story DVDs.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't think he acts in it though.
Okay.
He's just playing with a dummy.
Okay. But it would be interesting to see if I might have to check that out too. It would be nice to compare like those TV shows compared to these Tales from the Dark Night, Tales from the Darkside. It seems like I mean I might be, maybe it's just me. I forgot how bad these. I forgot how horrifying the other TV shows were, but like it just seems to me at a quick glance that maybe this actually might be a little bit more scary, like more horrifying. But I would have to check it out. But I think I might actually try to watch those TV shows as well after seeing this film.
I think the scariest TV show we saw as a children, basically, of those horror shows, was The Storyteller.
That one actually, yes. Wow. That is, you hit the nail right on the head there.
With the Jim Henson.
What's his name? Hunter.
I think it's called The Storyteller.
Storyteller. Yeah, it's a famous actor from Alien. John Hurt. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I remember seeing like the first episode, and I couldn't sleep that night. The Mole Man. Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
I had horrible memories about watching that TV show and then trying to go to bed, and I was like, ugh, that creeped me out, that TV show. And the guy who could he saw death.
Yeah.
And captured death, and then death went away and nobody died. It was like such a weird premise. Yeah.
Death up, basically.
Yeah.
He was just death. Get in his bag, and then he started pounding on the bag and hanging up in a tree for like 10 years or something, and nobody died.
Yeah.
And when he left the death back out, the death was just frightened of him. Never came near him again. He was just immortal.
Yeah. He became immortal because of it. But he took others instead. That was kind of weird. Yeah. So I need to check. Yeah, it's interesting. All of a sudden, because I saw this film, now all of a sudden I feel like I want to watch all these scary TV shows again, including this one, Tales from the Darkside. So, I mean, what can I say? I mean, once again, I have someone introduce a film to me, and I like it. It's just a perfect score so far. So congratulations, Joe. You
Thank
picked a
you.
good one this one. Picked a good one this time. Even though it was a little bit silly, but it was worth it. Especially to, yeah. I mean, if you haven't seen this film and you didn't care about spoilers, just go on the internet and watch that cat crawling into the guy's mouth.
Yeah.
It's kind of, yeah, that's kind of a crazy scene. But
Yeah.
I would definitely, I mean, for a good Halloween film, sure, definitely.
Yeah.
I would recommend this one.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's about it. Is anything else you have to add about this film before we end this?
I really liked it.
Yeah, I agree. Wholeheartedly agree. All right. And those, we'll just end it here then. So, this has been the JLR Podcast Network, and you've been listening to another episode of What's This? We just finished reviewing the film Tales from the Darkside, and it's pretty silly, but definitely entertaining and can be pretty horrifying at times. But Joe, thank you for participating. Thank you for introducing your first film. Hopefully we can do this soon again. Until next time, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. And you guys take care. Stay tuned for more episodes in the future. Bye-bye, people. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Just love happy endings.